Today we're here to talk about Pear Deck. To sign up for Pear Deck, you're going to want to go to peardeck.com, go over here to the sign up for free, and you're going to want to log into the teacher login. Now to create a Pear Deck lesson, you're going to want to download the add-on. This can be done by going to peardeck.com and going over here to create a lesson. You can also do this by going to extensions, go to add-ons, and click get add-ons. You would then search for Pear Deck and install. I already have it, which is why it shows up in my extensions. So extensions, open Pear Deck add-on, and on the right hand side, you can see you have start lesson, some questions underneath. Also on the right hand side are your activities. We'll get to those in a moment. But to start the lesson, you're going to choose the big green button at the top of the add-on. Now, if you click on the three dots, you can toggle on require student logins, which means they will have to log in with their email and their name will appear, or you can toggle it off and they will be given a random avatar and random nickname, usually animal related. After starting the lesson, it's going to ask you which activity you would like to do. You have student paced, which allows the students to work at their own pace. This also means they get to work as fast or as slow as they want to. Instructor paced activity means no buttons. They're going to have to follow along with you while you are doing this either via Zoom or on an interactive whiteboard. If you do start the lesson and you want to change it, you can hit the three dots at the bottom right screen, and you can always turn on student paced or turn on instructor paced activity. How students will sign in is they would go to joinpd.com, type in the 6 letters, or you can also give them a link if that is easier. You have some Pear Deck activities. Students may write their own response in a text question. Students choose an option in choice. Students enter a number in a number question. You may embed a website that students can utilize. You can draw anywhere on the slide. And there's also draggable, which makes certain elements of a slide interactive. The red outline slide, that is what happens when you open up the text feature, and the right is something that's completed. So in this example, what is the message of this political cartoon? And they would respond based on the image below. Students on their screen would be able to type, and this is one example that they can have. The green slide. Okay. So it doesn't show up on my screen, but an apex predator is a predator at the top of the food chain without natural predators of its own. Write down as many as you can think of. So what I'm saying is the answer here doesn't show up. So let's do a lion. Whoops. I can add another response if I want to. Say eagle. So I don't do enter. I can just click away. I can edit here if I want to. But then on the teacher side, I can do it to show responses. And because I did anonymous, it's not going to show who did it. I can also lock screens. So in case I want students to stop answering. Something to know is that there's no wrong or right answers. It doesn't depend on the question. There's no predetermined answer beforehand to give students credit. So it's not like you can automatically give them a point based on their answer. You can also see the answers in real time. If you like a student's answer, you can always star it, and you can spotlight that student's answer. You can also delete inappropriate answers before you show responses by clicking on the three dots and clicking delete response. Think of choice like multiple choice. On their screen, it's going to show up, could be true or false, could be A, B, C, D. And on the teacher screen, it's going to show up as a bar graph based on what the class is choosing. So when you click on the choice question in the Pear Deck add-on, you would type in the choices that you want. Be able to answer in real time by showing how the class is answering. For this choice question, the little girl knew the competition would be tough, so she prepped herself to be fierce on the day of the track and field meet. What is the synonym of the word fierce? On the student side, I still get to see the question. I can make it full screen if I want to, and then I'm answering here. I think it means to be aggressive. On the teacher side, I can do show responses, and here is the bar graph that I was talking about earlier. Now, if you want to see or edit your choices, you're going to have to click on the Pear Deck banner at the bottom. So not only do you have to click on the banner, but then you have to select the type of question. So if this is a choice question, I have to go to the right-hand side and pick choice again. That way I'm editing my choices for the choice question. But be careful. If you choose a different question, it will overwrite it. You can always hit the undo button to undo your mistake. Number is a great feature if you just want students to write out a number, a decimal, a fraction. So in this example, I'm telling them they're going to have to write in a number. So this is the view of a student. They would count up the amount of electrons, and they would write it in. So the number question doesn't always have to be a math question. In this one, what year was the fall of Constantinople? So it was 1453. I can't do multiple answers for this one, and I can always do show responses to see where they landed. You can use this as an important example to say, the fall of Constantinople led other nations to lead their explorers for other paths around the world, which would end up leading Christopher Columbus to the New World in 1492. So does that mean no complicated math questions? Well, one, you can add the answer in the speaker notes. In the speaker notes down here, I wrote X is 9.5, and you can actually view your speaker notes. And during your presentation, I clicked notes in the bottom left. Or you can always have the answer to the next slide like this that has the work shown. So students can view and interact with a website embedded on their device. They don't have to open up a separate tab. All you have to do is copy the link. You're pasting the web address there. It's even giving you a preview of what it would look like. So before we jump into World War I, let's see how many countries you can name in modern Europe. On the student side, they still see the slide, but it's an embedded website. Russia. All right, I think you get the gist. So then, let me go back to the presenter slide, and then once I go to the next slide, it forces the student to follow along with me. This is important. Make sure you can see the preview when making a website activity. If not, the website will work, but take them away from your Pear Deck presentation. So if it shows with this little page and a frowny face, they will still be able to access the link, but it's going to open up a new tab. So they can still be playing that game or reading that article as you're moving along with the presentation. Draw is a very cool feature. They can draw, highlight, paint, provide text on the slide provided. Now, on the teacher side, I don't see any of the tools, but on the student side, I can use my marker. Okay, acute, obtuse, and right. I can always do show responses, and basically you would be able to scroll down and see all the different responses. You can do grid format. Now, can you add multiple Pear Deck activities in a single slide? No. So if you want to elaborate further on the current slide, you can have a class discussion in real time. You can create an activity on the following slide, like text or choice. In presenter mode, you can click on new prompt. It will give you some templates. In the instructor pace mode, it will make all students go to this new slide now. We have draggable. Once you click on the draggable question, it's using the slide and it's asking you how big do you want the icon to be? What do you want it to look like? You can also change the color of it. For this draggable, drag the icon to correctly complete each equation. I don't see anything on my screen. If I go to the student side, I would go, okay, 3 plus 9 equals 12. 10, no. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. 2 times 8, 7 minus 6. And then it would let me know that I'm done because I've interacted with all 4 of them. Going to show responses. So this, you can scroll down and see all of them. See them all in miniature view, and this would overlay all of the student responses. So you can look at student participation as they're filling out questions. You also have a layered approach, which varies between the question. While for this draggable assignment, it's actually showing me where all of the student answers are being placed. So this is good if I can tell, okay, everyone is getting the subtraction part of the question right, but there seems to be some confusion on the multiplication and division. So maybe I should clarify that as a group. And then after the lesson, you can go to my sessions and see how students answered for each specific question. You can even export the information to maybe provide a grade or data for yourself or for the parents/guardians. There's also a teacher dashboard in real time to see how students are answering, and you can even provide feedback live. And it will even alert the students. This little icon next to the rooster, emojis to say how they're feeling. So maybe if you know a student isn't doing so well today in the answers and they did a frowny face, you can guess that they're going through something and maybe you can follow up with them after class. At the bottom right is how you end the slide. And you can name it, test, save and exit session, share the reflect and review, but I'm just going to open the reflect and review here. I'm going to go to the toucan, which was the anonymous student. Now this has all the slides, but then I can actually see how the student answered.